Nicholas here with Sigma World. Sitting beside me is Justin Cosnett, Continent 8, and they are involved in keeping you and your operations secure.
Hi there, nice to see you.
Good to see
You're
you.
right.
Great.
Cool.
So Continent 8 has a wide range of services. I want to do like an elevator pitch. Let's tell these guys what you got. What are your three main product offerings?
Okay, so we start with a manage is one of the tiers of our kind of three product ranges. So we do co-location and cloud, managing customers' infrastructure, hosting their infrastructure, or running it ourselves in a managed way, and we do that around the world. So we do that in Malta. We have done for a good 12 and a half to 13 years now, but we also do it in the US in a huge amount of growth there. We're now at like 25 sites and 90 globally around the world. All of them pretty much for gaming, so we tend to be in the regulated jurisdictions and the regulated locations.
And that's allowed you to work with some of the top-tier iGaming companies?
Yeah, sure. So, I won't read them out now, but yeah, we've got a lot of the kind of quotable, referenceable customers on our website, and they've been with us for many years. We were there. We're 25 years old now. We were there at the beginning from the good old days of some of the startup big poker operators and the big iGaming launch from Canada and the US, and then we've moved over to Europe, and then since then Asia and the US.
Wonderful, and it's these guys. They are very good at bringing in customers. They're very good at customer support. Very good at providing games, making the partnerships. They might not be tech people, but they need to look after their web security, right? Because iGaming is one of the most targeted verticals. Do you take that risk? Do you take that worry? Do you take that strain away from the operators?
Yeah, sure. So, hosting a lot of those guys has meant that for that full 25 years, it's cyber attacks do target iGaming in particular. It's one of the most heavily attacked industries, especially around times of high events. So even some of the big guys, the $1.5 billion a year companies, if they're under attack either via DDoS or a web application or cyber attack, they're losing $170,000 a kind of hour. So we've been offering in the kind of secure tier of our product range DDoS protection, web application and API protection, or WAP or WAF, and now we offer SOC and SIEM services, so full kind of suite of managed security tier. So companies can concentrate on kind of developing their application, providing their their licensee support, and we'll look after the kind of security side for them, protecting keeping their websites online effectively.
Exactly, and you guys specialize in the high transactional environments?
Yeah, sure. So we have to kind of scale to the size of our customers' needs, and we run a lot of multi-tenant capability. So we'll have a lot of customers on a single cloud environment, and then we offer those with backup and kind of security, and then we connect them all together. So our other kind of tier of kind of keeping that transaction capability is to run huge amounts of connectivity around the world. So every single one of our locations is connected securely via an MPLS network, and that allows us to sell private connectivity away from the attackable public surface area of the internet for our customers. And like you say, the high transaction means we have to have quite a lot of bandwidth. Huge ISP connections in all the kind of standard locations: London, New York, Paris, Amsterdam, all those kind of places.
Right, and as I say, it's a matter of not letting people go it alone. You guys are with them. If they decide to go with you, is it a big process? Is it hard for them to get involved? Is it hard for you to give what you've got to them? Is it an easy process?
No, it's obviously, I'm going to say it's very simple. We have a wide range of customers, okay? So even though we're in one vertical, we've got everything from smaller startups that want to kind of have a fully managed offering from us. So they'll take some cloud, say in Malta, so that's quite a startup-oriented, regulated jurisdiction, or all the way through to some of them, the really big guys that will be taking kind of multi-cloud or hybrid cloud offerings from us, like AWS. So you don't have to take the full set of kind of our three tiers of product, but we kind of target those for whatever customers want to kind of take bits and pieces from, and we kind of scale up their growth. So if they become mid-tier, we're then able to kind of offer them dedicated environments and private clouds, and if they're huge tier, then we can be that kind of DDoS mitigation layer and web application layer of security.
Cool. And for the smaller startup, you would say that probably the better to go with through you and to use Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of kind of born in the cloud customers that have either done their development, through their funding range up to ready to launch, and for regulatory purposes they have to be in a specific location. If it's the US, you have to be in state. So we offer that kind of regulated cloud environment that we can migrate them from AWS into a regulated location. Or if they're considerably well funded, we can even support them in their AWS Outpost delivery. So putting basically an AWS capability inside a jurisdiction or a state or in our facilities.
I see you've actually managed in terms of regulated environments, the newest, the most exciting regulated environments. Tell us about your work in the USA.
So yeah, I mean, we started a bit early. We got ourselves we were one of the first to get a casino suppliers license. It effectively meant we went through all the processes of being a casino, but actually just to run a data center. And we have a dedicated data center in New Jersey. And from that kind of 4 or 5 years ago, we've then launched in every single state as it's regulated. And we try to make sure that we're regulated. We look for that aspect to say that it helps a lot of our customers in terms of coming with us if they can say, well, I'm in a regulated supplier. It ticks many of their boxes for their applications for a license. So we've been, kind of licensed in all those 25 locations where applicable as a supplier license. But then we've tried to bring this kind of community or regulated cloud offering to those locations so that when the second tier of US growth customers come in, the smaller guys, the suppliers, the B2Bs, we're there ready for them to kind of supply services to some of the kind of more adventurous, shall we say, those that have exploited that market and spend a lot of money getting in.
Oh. But there's, I guess, Continent 8 does all that, it does protect you, but there's only so much you can do because a lot of the attacks, they're successful because of human error. Do you help in terms of educating the clients in terms of to protect them?
So I think during our engagement we'll kind of speak to customers about not just their cyber posture, but then obviously with the SOC and SIEM kind of services we do offer advice and advisories and consultation about how best to kind of set yourselves up, how best to prepare, how best to be ready. Then do you need DR and backup capabilities when if you've had a cyber attack? Is there a point you can recover from? Most customers will even if they've been lucky so far, they will experience something, anything from a DDoS attack through to someone trying to exfiltrate their data, and it's just understanding that have you got that covered as well as you can, and what can you add to your arsenal of defence? I suppose it's unfortunately for us, it's a bit of a war. You constantly have to grow the size of our capability to match the size of the attacks.
Any particular interesting case study where there has been an attack that you've helped to mitigate?
We don't like to go into too much detail, but I think we'll be publicising soon. Every quarter we kind of say this is the attack we've seen in our environment, along with lots of other providers in the market will do the same. And I think we're going to be publishing in the next quarter. We've had quite an interesting quarter of kind of high volumes of attacks against customers. We've defended very well, but you can see that it's just an ever evolving. Like I said, it's almost an arms race. It's just each quarter it's more and more. Unfortunately, it's a bit fearful to kind of say that, and a bit sounding like the news scaring you, but unfortunately it is a constant threat and ever evolving.
Okay, so the new quantum. Any concerns?
Not too much. It's we have to keep investing, we have to keep sizing, we have to keep scaling. But as we grow, we roll out kind of the way that we've seen the best way to kind of mitigate those problems or solve them if they happen as we grow into other markets. So as we look into LATAM and Africa and those evolving markets, we'll bring the same levels of security, connectivity, and kind of management to those locations as we have in more established markets. For sure.
Justin, this is not your first rodeo. You're not your first Sigma, I'm guessing.
No, we've been here pretty much since the inception. To be honest with you, it's great to be back. I didn't personally make last year, but it's been good for me to get back since the pandemic ended. And biggest show I've seen. Took me a long time to walk through, to be honest.
And in terms of Malta PLC, Malta as a country, what's your thoughts on the country?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's always a pleasure to come and visit. Not just to kind of see our own colleagues in that we have locally, but also meet with peers and our customers. So Sigma's a good event for that. We always like to show a lot of kind of visibility at these locations because we're here to support Malta PLC just as much as we are to support Continent 8.
That's Justin Cosnett from Continent 8, Nicholas Jackman, Sigma World signing off. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Cheers.